Hello everyone, welcome back to the Watercolor Workshop. Today I'm going to be painting this simple landscape using just two colours and one brush. So I've got this lovely pale, slightly warm yellow, raw sienna, and this inky, almost black blue, indigo. So here's the yellow, nice and warm, not too saturated. And here's the blue. Like I said, inky, dark blue. Let's mix them together, get some green. It's not really happening, my paper's not very wet. Okay, so I've mixed them on the palette. Yeah, this lovely soft green. Here's the blue. Very diluted. You could use it as a blue sky if you wanted to. We won't be doing that today, but just for reference. And here's the colours mixing together on the paper with a bit of water in them. Some lovely soft greens developing, bluey greens, pale mossy greens. Very nice. Okay, I've got my paper taped down to a board. It's not a board as such, it's just the back of an old watercolour pad. It's a piece of cardboard. Our brush is a size 14. It's a round synthetic brush. That's a 2B pencil, drawing a horizon line. It's not quite halfway up, but it's more than a third of the way up. Somewhere in between those two. I've got my yellow and I've made a puddle of it, quite diluted. And I'm painting that wet onto dry. Bit more of the painting to the mix. Now I'm cleaning my brush and I'm wetting the rest of the top of the paper above the line I've just painted. So this is water straight from the jar. It's slightly coloured because I didn't clean my brush up too much. Still a little bit of colour left in. That's fine. I'm trying to get some dispersed, diffuse yellow onto my paper. Now I'm mixing some thicker yellow, running along the top. So it needs to be thicker, otherwise you'll get back runs. So the paint that goes down onto the water on the paper must be thicker than the water that's already there, otherwise you'll get a back run. And then I'm just softening that edge. It will dry soft as well, dry softer than it appears in the wet stage. A little bit more yellow on the top, and that's the sky done. I'm just propping it up on a glass jar. I'm going to let that dry. And while it's drying, I'm going to mix up the next colour, which is a green. So here's the indigo, the blue. Mixing it into a well. I've got my raw sienna, my yellow next to it. And I'm going to mix them together. And we've got this soft green colour. Quite a cool green. The beauty of having a big brush is that you can get a lot of water in there, and so you can apply a stroke of colour, just one big long sweep, which means you get less brush strokes on your painting, if that's what you want. So now I'm applying some of the blue, the dilute blue. Now it's stronger. So what I'm doing there effectively is putting a wet wash onto the paper, pale dilute wash, and then a stronger version of the colour straight into it. I'm running the brush along the horizon now, every so often I'm pressing down to get a little indentation, a little rise of the distant hills or vegetation, whatever they are. And now I picked up some of the stronger blue. It's got less water in it. I'm just the tip of the brush touching onto the paper. The water comes flowing out. You don't have to press hard, you just have to touch it. And it flows out. We've got these vegetation, shrubs, trees, bushes. While that's drying, I have cleaned my brush and dried it off on a cloth. And then I'm dipping it into the blue, which has got virtually no water in it. So this is dry brushing effect. It's quite a thick dry brush. Damp brushing, maybe you call it. So the paint is just damp onto the dry paper. You use the edge of the brush and scrape it along, and you get this broken effect where a lot of the white of the paper shows through. So it could be a leg or a sea. Now the yellow is much wetter, and I'm putting it on with the side of the brush like I just did with the blue, but because the paint is wet, we don't get the broken effect. It's a more solid wash because the paint is wetter. So the drier the brush, the more of the white that would show through. Where the blue and the yellow combine, we get some green. You'll notice that when I put this on, I try to put it on with one stroke. One flourish rather than lots of little dabs. It's surprising that if you just use one quick, rapid stroke, you tend to get a straighter line than trying to do it carefully. And there it is. It's pretty much dry now, or at least I thought it was. Paper looks dry, and decided I'm going to put a circle in to represent the sun or the moon. And then I discovered it's not actually dry yet. So you can see that a background is developing straight away, a little cauliflower, which I did not want. That's okay, we can stop it in its tracks. Get your trusty kitchen roll tissue and just press into the area you've just painted. It suck up all the water straight away and stop the back run. There's a little bit of a mark on the edge there, but that's okay, I can dab that away. That's alright, it looks like a watery sun. That's what I'm claiming anyway. Another little dab. Just to make sure it's dry and doesn't develop again. Problem solved. So now I also decided that I did not like the trees on the vegetation in the background. I don't think the blue's dark enough either. So I'm going to go in with the second coat. Now remember it looks dry, but it's actually a little bit damp under the surface. And you can just see that the paint over on the left there where I've just applied it is just starting to run up a little bit. So it's wet into damp, this. I'm going to cover those spidery spiral marks. So my trees are turning into a hill. And here you can see that even though the brushes are big, number 14, you can get some thin light with the tip. Just covering the tops of those marks. And you can see a few little random points where it pops up, which gives the effect of distant trees maybe. So I want some more dark in my foreground now to complement the dark that I've just added. And now it's turning into an estuary scene, I think. The distant wooded hill. There's sun going down, or the moon perhaps coming up, and the sand in the foreground. And we've got a reflection, perhaps, of the hill, or it might be some water. That's it, that's all there is to it. I'm really happy with that. About 15 minutes in total. Nice little scene. Hope you found that enjoyable, useful. When the painting dries, it's a little bit paler, but nevertheless, a nice, simple landscape. Thank you for watching.